We were going to party like it's 1999, but we chose not to. Anyway, I taped off of ABC out of Boston, I think, because I was living in Boston at the time. The anthology, the first time the Beatles put the anthology out on TV, it was exciting, it was cool. It was the debut, if you will. If you won't, that's fine too, of Free as a Bird. And I felt free as a bird when I watched it. I actually teared up. It was sad. It was kind of like, because we hadn't seen them in a while and we weren't used to this big old, cash grab fucking phenomena that's now the Beatles and Apple and every corporation and legacy musical group is all about trying to just fucking cash in as quickly as possible, put out a synthetic product that you're supposed to fucking think is natural. And now, the great thing about these videotapes and the bad thing about these videotapes is that I would sit there and manually stop the machine when the commercials came on. So in the opposite world that we live in, we want the commercials, okay? Back then it was like, oh, I'm going to watch this later. I don't want to sit through, a commercial. So we tried to avoid the commercials. But now the commercials are the best part. Let's face it. It gives you a chance to sort of see what was going on in the world around the television around 1996 when it was recorded. One of these tapes I did that. I sat through and I pressed stop when the commercials came on. The other one, I believe I let the commercials flow, which is great because now the commercials are the only thing I can really show on YouTube, and sort of the bumpers and things like that, as long as there's not too much music in it, because of the YouTube thing. Now, here's what I'm interested in. Do you think that there's going to be changes made to the story, to the narrative, using AI and other techniques to change the Beatles anthology? Because it's an ever-evolving fucking story. I mean, they make it sound like they're sort of like choir boys, but they weren't like, some of them, they did some bad things. Let's just put it that way at the time. They were dating, but they were dating on, that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. But, do you think that the Beatles, Apple, and the management and the whole fucking, manufactured, images that they have will change with this new anthology? Do you think it's just going to be the same, or do you think they're going to mess with the history and use AI? I've already seen some things that I suspect were used. Some AI was used in some marketing and digitaling, manipulating some of the images. So I don't know. One thing I have noticed as well, speaking of legacy acts, Jimi Hendrix. They just came out with a box set. It's an Axis Bold as Love box set, and I've, talked about Axis Bold as Love a lot because it's one of my favorite Hendrix albums, even though it was kind of rushed. He felt rushed. It was recorded in 16 days, and he had a lot of ideas. And they did a stupid album cover, which featured sort of East Asian, Indian motifs, and he's like, wrong Indian. I'm, Cherokee. Why didn't you do that? It was a dumb album cover. I can't believe that they didn't give him the right to do his own album cover, which is why Electric Ladyland had extensive notes as to what the album cover should look like, which they completely ignored anyway. So the album, Axis Bold as Love, came out in December of 1967. So 67, that's like 58 years ago. It's not an anniversary, so they just put this box set out, and it's 66 songs. It's about, $70 for this box set. The Axis Bold as Love box set has got the mono mix, the regular mix, and then some outtakes, and I don't know how fake the outtakes are. What's the word for fake outtakes? There's a word I heard somebody use, right, Shadow? It was like they were supposed to be outtakes, but they are not outtakes. No, Shadow, they are not. They are fake outtakes. They take like, it's like take 3. It's like, really? So this is take 3. So you've got the basic tracks with the guitar solo and everything else on it, and it's everything from the finished track that we are well aware of. But like suddenly there's a missing. They're just making this shit up, really. And I think that's what a lot of people are having difficulty with, is that even on the first anthology, I remember guys like, yeah, it's all fake, the fake outtakes. And sure enough, I mean, when you think about it, the Beatles, there's a couple of those tracks like And Your Bird Can Sing, where they take 2 tracks to get one of them giggling, and then they have them working on the harmony part and some other things and whatever. But like they just kind of mix it in, and now it's so easy to do. They could just take, and basically what they've done, and I listened to the Hendrix Axis Bold as Love outtakes, is they just remove, like digitally remove, or even on the soundboard, remove the lead vocal, and it's just instrumental. Well, big fucking deal. It's just the same thing without the vocals. So you can sing along, okay. Fancy, expensive karaoke. Is that what we're up against now? Fancy, expensive karaoke? I don't know. Maybe I should check with, my cell phone. This is Shadow. Shadow is an animal cat. She's my pet cat. A lot of people say they have cats. I have a pet cat. It's a proper, way to introduce your animal, your pet cat. And she is good. She's been with us for about 9 years. And she's one of those cats that, attaches themselves to you and is comforting. And when you're in pain, the cat knows it. I don't know how. How does the cat or the dog know that you're in pain? Maybe there's something else to this life that we don't know. They didn't mention that in the Bible. Speaking of the Bible, a few years ago, the Pope had said that the dogs go to heaven. And I was like, okay. That leaves a few questions. I have a couple follow-ups here. The cats don't. So cats don't go. It's just dogs. Just dogs. All dogs? All dogs go to heaven. I think that's the way the song goes. Or is it a book or a story or a movie or an animated special? I don't know. But it's strange, because now, what about bad dogs? Do they go to heaven too? What if a dog gets neutered or fixed? Isn't that birth control? Isn't that against? If you're gonna go to heaven and you're gonna, it's not be okay. Well, you see, it's so dumb that the creator of the universe is like, well, only certain breeds of dogs can go to heaven. Well, what if it's a snickerdoodle or a poodle, mix? Oh no, mixed breeds can go to heaven. Oh, just like people, really? Yeah, fits into your little narrative, doesn't it? But I don't know. Shadow, what are you doing? Is that you? All right, so now I'm going to try to transfer these Beatles anthology broadcasts from 96. It was around November of 96, around Thanksgiving, that they broadcast these things, and then they later released them. I had them on DVD up until a couple years ago, and then I sold them because I was sick of seeing Paul McCartney on a tugboat. If I had seen Paul McCartney on a tugboat just one more fucking time, I'm kind of burnt on Paul McCartney, to be honest with you. I don't like his narrative lately, and I don't like the fact that they're just fucking not saying anything about terrible things going on in the world. You know, the type of things like, okay, so the power to the people. You know, great sentiment back then, John Lennon. Activism. And then, like, okay, now you have a fucking $300 box set, and you have nothing being said about the terrible things going on in the world. That's okay. What did Ringo say? Ringo said one thing. What did he say? Hey, Beatles, surviving Beatles. You want to say anything about the horrific things going on in the world? Hibbity dibbity 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 dobbity doobity dibbity doobity dibbity. Here's some records. We used to care. I'm gonna do some just kind of fun stuff that I like to do, which is improv. I basically improv my way through a lot of things. Not very well, but you know what I'm saying. Like, hey, what are you gonna do? So another thing I had to do with my channel is I had to take down the Get a Life. I have Get a Life stuff that I had acquired of broadcast versions from when they originally aired in the 90s. Get a Life, Chris Elliott. And I got a copyright notice from Shout Studios, and Shout Studios had previously, and they still do, they do a lot of TV shows like ALF and Space 1999, which is one of my favorites. I'm not a big ALF fan. I remember when it happened at the time, and I was thinking, boy, this is dumb. I love puppetry, but this is not good puppetry. And that's not what aliens look like. But anyway. Okay, so here's my first task. This poor boy, or girl, I'm gonna have to move them. Is it a raven? No, it's a crow, I think. So sad. Where should I put him?